Well, hello, my name's Trevor. I'm the minister at Selsdon Baptist Church, and I want to offer a brief reflection on a story from Holy Week, which is recorded in Luke's Gospel. A story he tells about something that happened on the evening of Palm Sunday. Jesus has had his triumphal entry, he's gone into the city, and then we're told about an incident that happens right at the end of that first day of the week. Luke tells us that Jesus is on a high point, we think probably the Mount of Olives, and he's looking down over the city. When I imagine Jesus doing that, I imagine him on a place like I am now, up here on Crowhamhurst. Maybe he looks back and he sees the homes and houses of the city. He reflects on the people who are there. And we see in that moment something of his heart for the people who live there. Luke tells us that Jesus looks down in the city, reflects on the people, reflects on what is going to happen to him in the days that lie ahead, and he weeps. But he doesn't weep for himself. It's not an outpouring of grief or exasperation about the suffering that lies his way. Instead, he says that when he looks at the people of Jerusalem, thinks about them, he talks about himself as being like someone who longs to gather those people to himself. Describes himself as being like a hen who just wants to gather her chicks safely under her wings. He feels this exasperation that he is not going to have that opportunity to draw those people near to himself, to offer them his peace, but instead they are going to choose instead things that don't make for peace. We don't quite know what he means by that. We think that it might be that he's looking further ahead, maybe 30, 40 years down the road, when Jerusalem will choose rebellion instead, choose to take on the Roman Empire and its armies and bring down on itself a terrible amount of suffering and devastation. When I think about Jesus in this story, it just says to me something about his love and his care. This man who is so full of love, this man who is not thinking at all about the suffering and the pain and the violence which is going to be visited on him, not a man preoccupied with his ego or any of the pain he's going to face, but a man of love, a man of great love, and he wants others to know that love and that acceptance that he offers. I wonder what Jesus would be thinking now if he was here with me, looking down from the Hurst at homes like the ones that we live in Selsdon and Addington. I can't help feeling that in the year of COVID, in the year when there's been so much suffering, so much distress, he'd still be weeping, and he'd still have just a heart that is full of compassion and a longing that people would somehow be able to know something of his love, something of the release, something of the sort of capacity for newness and fresh beginnings that only he can bring. And my prayer for you, and I know that I speak not just for myself, but for all of us who are leaders of the churches in Selsdon and Addington and people who go there, our prayer for you is that this Easter, even though it's been a hard year, even though it's been the year of the pandemic and other losses and complications, that you would feel drawing near to you Jesus, the man of love, the man who is full of care and mercy, who is so gentle, who never pushes back on people, but always wants to embrace us, that you would know his love and his care, and him gathering you closer to himself. Amen.